Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into something really exciting, creating that sleek modern SaaS explainer style Orbit UI animation you have been seeing everywhere. You know those smooth professional animations that make any product demo look absolutely premium? Well, I'm going to break down the entire process step by step in Adobe After Effects, and trust me, it's way easier than it looks. So grab your cup of coffee, open up After Effects, and let's get started. So we are here in After Effects. Let's break down each layer step by step so you don't get messed up with all the composition style. Okay, let's turn off all the layers for now and let's turn on step by step each layer. Okay, let's turn on our first layer, which is a black solid layer. So let's firstly see our composition size. Hit Ctrl K to open the composition size, and you can see the preset which is set to landscape 1920 by 1080 with a frame rate 30 frames per second and the duration set to 15 seconds and the background color set to all black. Okay, hit OK. Now for the solid layer, I have added a black solid layer, and not a black solid, just go to solid settings and just you can see the dark bluish tone color. For you can copy the hex code or you can use your dedicated color according to your like. Okay, hit OK, and the solid setting is the same as composition size. Okay, and I've named as BG for background. Hit OK. Now let's turn on our second layer. You can see the precomp over here. It is named as final ellipse rotation. Let's quickly double click to open this whole precomp, and you can see all the layers down here. So I will explain step by step for each layer. Okay, let's quickly turn off all the layers for now and just turn on our first layer, which is ellipse layer. Let's double click to open this precomp, and you can see the three ellipse shapes. So basically I have added a ellipse with the fill set to none and the stroke turned on with a width of 6 pixels, and for the color I have used this color. You can copy the same hex code for your design. Hit OK, and just I have set its size. Let's go to properties and just you can see the size to 698 by 698 and just duplicate. Hit Ctrl D to make a duplicate of it and just increase the size. You can see the size to 981 by 981 and just again hit Ctrl D to make a duplicate of it, and you can see the size like 1277 by 1277. Okay, so you will get the result something like this. Okay, make sure the anchor point is in the center of the precomp. Okay, now let's get back to our previous final ellipse rotation. So after that I have just select all the layers, just right click and pre-compose, and I have named it as final ellipse bound. You can see the ellipse bound is named here. Now let's turn on our second layer and the third layer. So you can see the ellipse 1 and ellipse 2. Basically I have made some shapes. So click on this ellipse 1 layer and you can see the fill is turned on to solid color and the stroke is turned off or set to 0 pixels. So basically let's zoom in a little bit and you can see the small ellipses something around at this point and at this point. So let's turn on our ellipse layers first, all the ellipse layers. Yeah, so you can see all the ellipses at this point, and basically I have added random points like ellipses to all the three stroke layers. Okay, so you can see this point, this point, this point, and all the points something like this. Okay, and for the color I have used this color. You can go with the same color as you like, and on this ellipse layer just go to effect controls. I have applied two effects. One effect, the first effect is the fast box blur with a blur radius something around 4 pixels and the iteration set to 3, and make sure the repeat edge pixel is checked. And the second effect is the deep blue effect with the same setting. You can apply the same setting as my like. Okay, and just copy these two, holding shift, select these effects, right click, just copy this and paste these all effects to all the ellipses layers. Okay, so it will be applied at once. Okay, now for the animation, let's turn on first. So basically I have added a null layer for each ellipse stroke, so to control the animation of these small ellipse shapes. So just go to layer, go to new and just add a null object, and I have named it as a rotation controller, and just holding shift select both these first and second ellipse shape layers and just parent it to the rotation controller 1, and just make sure the anchor point is in the center, and just hit R to open the R rotation properties, and you can see I have applied a basic rotation expression like time ashtray -15, so it will be rotating negatively 15 pixels. Okay, something like this. Now the same as like second animation, just turn on the second. I have duplicated the null layer and named it as rotation controller 2, and just parented the third and fourth ellipse layer to this rotation controller 2, and just again applied the same rotation. Just expand the property and you can see the but this time I have changed the value to -20, so it will be offset something like this. You can see. Yeah. Now again I have duplicated the rotation controller null layer again third time, and just you can turn on the third null layer and just parent all the fourth ellipses layer holding shift and just parent it to the rotation controller 3, and again I have applied the same rotation, but the property is changed to 16, time as to 16. Okay, so all the three properties will staggerly move like this. Okay, perfect. So yeah, this was our whole ellipse animation. You are seeing this. Okay, now for the stroke animation, you are seeing this one by one coming. So for this, let's go to ellipse bound, where our ellipse. So basically I have animated the trim path property. Just expand the ellipse, expand the contents, expand the trim and path. You can see the trim path property I have animated from 0 to 100 property, and the same, just copy, select this, hit Ctrl C to copy, and just paste on these two ellipse strokes, and just offset the upper two layers a little frame forward, so one by one it will stagger something like this. Okay, and make sure the ellipse bound is set to round. You can see the line cap set to round, the line join set to round. Okay, so yeah, that was our animation. Let's get back to our main comp. So yeah, this was our animation. You are seeing this looks pretty cool. Okay, now let's turn on our next layer, which is third layer in the main pre-comp, and you can see the join our. So basically I've added some text like this, like join our community. Let's turn on this layer, join our community. For the font, I'm using the Lando regular text font. You can go with according to your like. For the fill, I have used the white color and just set the pixels to 97 pixels according to your like. And for the community, the same font is used and the color is the same like our UI design, something like this. You can copy the hex code. Okay, now for the animation, holding shift, select these both two text layers, hit U to see their properties, and now basically I have animated the position properties and opacity property. So it comes like this. So just make up keyframes on position and opacity and just drag these two keyframes at this frame. At the beginning, just set the vertical position of this community text like downwards, and set the vertical property of this join our text to upwards. So it will come something like this. Let's see our animation. So it will come like this. Okay, perfect. Now hit U to hide their keyframes, something like this. Now let's turn on our these two layers, join us and join button. So basically I have made a shape with the regular rectangle tool, something like this. You can see, and for the gradient I have set it to linear gradient effect, and you can see the colors. You can apply the same colors as my like, and just on this I have set the roundness to 65 and the size you can see to 234 by 78, and on this I have added a text called join us text, and just set the track matte of this text to the join button, and the matte is selected to alpha matte. So our text will be linked to this shape, and also parent this text join us text to the join button. So whenever your button will move, your shape will move, the text will move with it automatically. Okay, now for the effect, let's go to join button shape and just expand these properties, expand the layer styles. I have applied the bevel and emboss property. You can copy the same setting as my like. You can see the depth style. You can see the depth to 65%, size to around 45, soften value to 8.5, and just play with the settings of highlight and shadow opacity, and you will get the result something like this. Okay, yeah. Now for the animation, let's select this shape layer, hit U, see its properties. Basically I have applied the scale. So you can see, just unlink this button by clicking on this little button. So your both vertical and horizontal properties will unlink to each other, and you can change vertical scale separately and the horizontal scale separate. Okay, so I have animated from 0 to at this frame, and also I have animated the opacity from 0 to 100. So it will come like this, and on this just select your keyframes, and I have applied the bounce effect. You can use the bounce R plugin or use the expression. It's all totally up to you. Just click on property and set to selected, and just click on bounce it, and make sure the effect controls, in the effect controls set the amplitude to 35, so the mean and normal feel. Okay, so our animation, butter animation will look like this. Yeah, perfect. Super. Hit U to hide the keyframes. Now let's turn on our first precomp. You can see all the precomps. Let's break down the first, and I will explain it afterwards how and why I duplicated these precomp. Okay, let's double click to open this precomp, and basically I have made a separate precomp for the shapes. So basically this is the shape for the employee workers for the brand or company. So for the shape, first layer is the shape layer. Just go to regular rectangle tool, or you can use the rounded rectangle tool, and just set set the linear gradient, and you can copy the same colors, something like this, and make sure the stroke is turned off or set to 0 pixels. And I have made an ellipse. Just go to ellipse tool and select the ellipse and make a perfect white ellipse for the mask. So I have added two text. So first is the name text for the employee, the name of the employee and its work, like which position the employee works, so the computational linguist. And lastly, I have added a user PNG. You can add your own profile. Just drag and drop this profile holding alt, select this user PNG layer, holding alt, just drag your PNG layer on this PNG and it will automatically replace by your profile. Okay, so this was our whole pre-comp. Okay, let's get back to our main composition. So it will look like this. So for the animation, I have duplicated this working people. I have named it as working people. I have duplicated it 5 times. So the main thing is that the useful tip I'm telling you is that don't make a duplicate of any pre-comp from this timeline panel. Just go to project panel, and I have duplicated it from the main project panel. Just select on this pre-comp, hit Ctrl D to make a duplicate, and just make a duplicate of it from the project panel. Okay, this is the most useful tip to tell you. Okay, so for the animation, let's see, hit U to see its keyframe. So for the animation, I have animated its 3 properties for the scale, rotation and opacity properties. So it comes like this. So before animating, select on this, you can see the anchor point. So just select on this anchor pan behind tool and just move the anchor point from center to at this corner. So it will animate from at this corner, something like this. Okay, so it will give a cool feel, something like this. Okay, so I've animated the 3 properties, scale property, rotation and opacity properties. So it will come like this. And on this, I have applied, select all the keyframes, and I have applied a bounce plugin, bounce script. You can use the expression for that. You are totally free to go and just click on bounce and the property will be applied. And just go to effect controls and set the amplitude to 35. So our animation will look like this. And just duplicate from the project panel, and let's turn on our all the layers. Just rename, go to project, select any pre-comp, just change the names, change the user PNG, user profile, and just you are good to go. The property is animated, something like this. Just copy these keyframes and apply to all the layers, all the pre-comps, and just stagger these pre-comps 2 to 3 frames forward. So our animation will look like this. And lastly, the cherry on top, P to open the position of the pre-comp, and just you can see the expression is applied to these pre-comps. So what it gives like floating effect to your UI animation. So you can see the wiggle effect, wiggle open bracket 1,5 open bracket close. You can see, and just right click, copy expression only, and holding shift select all the pre-comps and hit Ctrl V to paste the expression at once. Okay, don't forget to stagger these pre-comps for the more cool animation. So yeah, this was our animation. Let's hit U to hide these properties, and lastly turn on the motion blur for all the layers except the background layer, and finally our animation will look like this. Okay, perfect. And that is a wrap. I hope this breakdown made the entire process clear and easy to follow. Now here's the best part. You don't have to start from scratch. Grab the free project file and assets from the given link down in the description. It will help you practice and experiment with everything you covered today. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to follow me on Instagram for more tips, tricks and behind the scenes content. And hey, if you would like to support the channel and help me create more content like this, you can join my Patreon page. It costs less than a meal and makes a huge difference in keeping these tutorials coming your way. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep creating and stay awesome.